From the center of the galaxy, this is ForceCenter, show about Star Wars, pop culture, and the ultimate adventure, life itself. I'm Ken Napzok.
I'm Joseph Scrimshaw.
I was very aware of pushing the air out through my mouth and lips on saying my name.
Good job. Good job with the air.
Good job, indeed. Yeah, we're trying. This is our Star Wars questions episode, our second of the week. We wanted to take some time for questions and catch up. So we're going to be diving into a question from one of our Patreon supporters. First, though, as always, we do want to remind you that today's episode is brought to you by our own merch shop on Fourth Wall. Go to our merch store, pick up a t-shirt, coaster, pint glass, tote bag, pillow, hat, something to represent ForceCenter out in the galaxy, especially Star Wars Celebration LA on the horizon. If you're attending, we'd love to see you. Pick you out of a crowd. A lot easier. You can head over to ForceCenter-shop.fourthwall.com. ForceCenter-shop-fourthwall.com. We're also continuing to push towards our goal on Patreon.
That is right. We have been very lucky to have lots of folks join us in our Patreon community, but we would love to get to a new goal of 417 paid patrons in the next month or so. We want to do that by the time that Disney Lucasfilm announces the physical media release of The Mandalorian and Grogu. So not only is it a goal, it's a fun opportunity to guess when they're going to make the announcement. We like to have some fun with our goals, but we also want to let you know that we really do appreciate the support, and it's been great to see the community grow. It's been great to spend more time with people in the community, getting to know them by the questions they ask and our call-in shows on Friday and all sorts of good stuff. So thank you to everyone who's part of our Patreon community.
Absolutely. Robust Discord discussions all the time. So appreciate you all right. What do we got? Big question.
Yeah, we've got a good question. This comes to us from Jedi James. He's a patron that I've got to know from the call-in shows on Friday. And Jedi James has asked this question a couple times, so it took a little while to get to it. But here we go. Jedi James says, "Hello there, ForceCenter. One of my favorite things to discover in new Star Wars stories are seeing aliens as Jedi that we haven't before. I especially felt the High Republic has excelled at this. I still have many desires not yet explored, from Gungans to Ewoks. However, my greatest desire is to see a Chiss Jedi, particularly in the new Jedi era. I love the Chiss species, and I would love to see a young Chiss girl decide to break away from the rigid nature of the Ascendancy and embrace the Force in her own way as a Jedi. My personal first pick for one of Rey's students." This is a great question about seeing aliens as Jedi, and maybe aliens we haven't seen before, and maybe aliens in a more prominent role. We'll get to the Chiss, but first I just want to take a step back, Ken. Get your perspective of, you grew up in the original trilogy era with lots of fun aliens and very few Jedi. And so it was thrilling when the prequels came out to see more Jedi than Luke, Ben, Yoda. And Vader's not a Jedi at the time. You know what I mean? How did it feel to see aliens as Jedi? How did it feel to see your first kind of like, hey, I know that alien, but now they're a Jedi? What was that journey like for you?
I
don't give a damn.
No. How do I say this correctly? Like, I just prefer the human characters in Star Wars. Come join me at the National Mall for Freedom 250. No, I just so in the prequels, Phantom Menace, the Jedi Council, I loved it, by the way, because I love all these characters. I love Ki-Adi-Mundi. I love Laurel Poof. I love them all. Love them all. It felt like cool, cute, and quaint. But let's focus on Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Mace. But that said, I want to get this out first. I had no problem growing up with Yoda. But that also could have been because I love the Muppet movies and Frank Oz. So
right. And he's a Jedi, but he's not hopping around yet.
Not hopping around yet.
Yeah. Well, you were going to say something more. I cut you off.
Nah, I just wanted to get that out there. I wanted to share the truth. I gravitate towards the human characters in Star Wars, and I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm not saying that I don't like aliens. I'm not saying that I don't love the High Republic. I don't love learning what all these species and their journeys towards being a Jedi. That's just something. I don't know.
I think
I'm just trying to own it, Joseph.
I appreciate it, because I thought that might come up. I was like, based on Ken's mood, this is going to come up or not. So you have this thread, in my opinion, of you love fantasy. There's plenty of weirdos you love. You've got some favorite characters who are outrageous aliens. Admiral Raddus, you take very, very seriously, and he's an outrageous alien who's like his big moment, which I love, is like, I say we fight, and he literally slaps a flipper on the table, and you're golden with that. But I think there's this strain in you where, like, with anything fantasy, that's like a concern that it is going to tip into the absurd. Like, you love Lord of the Rings and you love Game of Thrones, but other fantasy stuff is like, is it going to get cheesy too quick? Is it going to get absurd and stereotypical? And that's sort of like, am I going to be able to take a main character Jedi really seriously if they got just a bunch of weird tendrils hanging from their nostrils? Like, it seems like there's some anxiety of like, is it going to be too weird? Is it going to undercut the depth and the emotion? Is that fair?
No, it is. It is. And I'd love to analyze why over drinks one day at a bar, because I'm not saying it's always right. Like, I love the character of Ahsoka, and it's definitely books and animation a lot easier. And there's just something that I don't connect with, because remember, I infamously, depending on your point of view of me, or famously, like I'm not a huge fan of like Pixar films. I can acknowledge that they are the greatest of our time, right? Like, I get it. And I like going to California Adventure and playing the boardwalk games and running around in the cars. Like, I have no problem with that. And I love the performances and love the designs. And you and I are surrounded by great voice actors who are in a lot of those things. I love it all. I've never downgraded it. It's just, there's something, there's this strain inside me that I just like, it doesn't, I can't connect with it as much, I think it was also one of the reasons I didn't connect with Star Trek as much. Though aliens were all around Star Wars. You're crawling in aliens in Star Wars. I just, it is absolute truth. Absolute truth. Like for the High Republic, love all the Jedi, all the Jedi, but the one that's like a floating blob, I'm like, nah, that's not a Jedi. That's not real.
And that's one of my favorites, because I think, like, the weirder the better. And I certainly feel the weirder the better when it comes to animation and books. And then I think there's this sort of line of how well can the aliens be executed in live action, for sure. But I remember, I always wanted to see Jedi, and like, I thought more Jedi period, and then more Alien Jedi. So that was one of the few things, not the few things that, I'm sorry, I'm tired. That was one of the things I was most excited about for Phantom Menace. And I loved seeing the variety, because to me, like, Plo Koon just looked cool. He just looked cool as hell. And Mundi, like, all right, this is a little bit of like the man with three brains, a little bit more science fiction-y 1950s, but I thought he looked pretty cool. And then like Yarl Poof and Yaddle was like, oh my God, this is so dumb. It's great. What are we doing here? Look at our little chicken legs dangling, and his head is so high, he's getting caught by the air conditioning in the Jedi Temple. It's going back and forth. It's like, so I kind of got fed on both sides. Of like, Plo Koon was like, that's just damn cool. The Plo Koon to Yarl Poof spectrum we got. And then definitely in Attack the Clones, but in the Clone Wars micro series and the Clone Wars animated series, that's to me, I think, when this really exploded. I used him for the thumbnail, but Nadar Veb, the Mon Cala Jedi who suffers a difficult life lesson in the Lair of Grievous episode. But I mean, those were the bar conversations of like, do you think Admiral Akbar could be a Jedi? Like, well, it's a Mon Cala, it's an Admiral Akbar guy, and he's a Jedi. And I do really like that. I do like the sort of the weirdness of it, the fun of it, and the philosophy of it, of any of these characters that we see could be a Jedi.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Wookiee is getting that question answered. And I'm on board. And I'm someone that understands and sometimes lobs the complaint against Andor that it's nothing but humans for the most part, right? I'm actually there for that. It's just a weird thing. Again, I just want them as supporting characters. How rude. How bad of me. How rude of me.
Well, as a supporting character,
Hmm.
Jedi James is very excited about this idea of a Chiss Jedi. If
Hmm.
Rey New Jedi Order movie came out, or if it's part of this Kinberg trilogy, and Rey has 6 students, and one of them is a Chiss Jedi, how would you feel about that?
James has pitched a great story. Go picture for me on this, and let's get that blue right. Let's see it on the screen and get that blue right. I don't think it was right. I don't think it was right before. But yeah, this is a great story because of what you're also talking about. The big why. The big why is where this
Hmm.
young Chiss girl would come from, and what she would the rigid nature of the ascendancy. All those things that are at play in the modern Zahn novels with around Thrawn, I think, are fascinating, and so I think that is what's important to the storytelling. You are not just going to get you're not just going to get a farm boy. You're going to get a farm lizard, learned, but they're going to bring so much different things to it,
Hmm.
and you have the ability to take it to different spots. So even with and I forget, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I forget the Blob Jedi's name, but
Or Berlin.
Oberlin. That's gonna that Jedi's gonna have a lot of different thoughts on what it
Yeah.
means to roll around this galaxy. So that is the big why that I'm always going to be drawn to.
Yeah. I do like Jedi James Y of the Chiss. That's great. But I'd
Mhm.
also be fine with it if there is a would be like, hey, it's this big movie. We're not going to get into the backstory of the Chiss ascendancy
Right.
for this one character. It's just a Jedi who's got blue skin and red eyes, and it's lit well
Hmm.
for having blue skin, so it looks like blue skin and not makeup. Um, which I know there are many various strong opinions about Thrawn's appearance. Um, so I'd also just be happy with it of like just this reminder, this that the galaxy is wide and there are many aliens that we've never met, haven't seen before, and they all
Hmm.
have a connection to the Force.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
think
they
Chess would
would.
be great with that. Um, so there's the conversation of more alien Jedi in general, and then there's the conversation of more aliens in lead roles, period, and more alien Jedi in lead roles. And I think we've really taken some strides with that. Ahsoka right now is one of the
Hmm.
faces of Star Wars. The only live action, uh, uh, the only character who has a live action television show
Hmm.
coming up right now. And
Hmm.
then we had a lot of main character Jedi who were aliens in Acolyte. Kalnaka,
Hmm.
the Wookiee Jedi live on screen. I wish we could have had even more of him.
Hmm.
Not a Jedi at the time, but once a Jedi, Grand Inquisitor in Kenobi, who also caused some consternation about his head is too short versus he would look goofy if his head was as tall. So
Hmm.
yeah, a lot of back and forth there. How do you feel
Hmm.
about the strides that have been made with Ahsoka and Kelnaka? And just for the sake of our conversation, I know he's not a Jedi at the time, Grand Inquisitor.
All positive for me, and I think I kind of defended the choice of Grand Inquisitor. I get the hey, that doesn't look exactly right, and then you got Tian Madan to run to. I just
Hmm.
yeah, it is what it is. There's also the practicality, and look at the change in Ahsoka from the first time we saw her
Hmm.
with the lake in live action. The lake who hard to move.
Hmm.
They didn't seem as they were shorter for a reason.
Hmm.
Now they're in a better spot. But yeah, I think great strides, and that's why I think Jedi James' question is timely. You're like when you're about to set new Star Wars adventures, you're about to put things into play. We don't know yet in Starfighter who's a voice, an alien or
Mm.
whatnot. Um, and with Dave at the helm, I think he loves his Star Wars weird too. He loves his Star
Hmm.
Wars mythical, magical, and if someone was to pitch him a story, not that anyone be clear, not that anyone in the past would say no. I'm just saying, like I'm sure he'd be like, yeah, let's explore it. Yeah, let's do a Plo Koon prequel movie. Let's do it.
Hmm. I know we've already seen photos of Ryan Gosling's character, but wouldn't it be amazing if they're like Ryan
Yes,
Gosling and like, and we're covering
yes,
his head with the Weosley guy from A New Hope,
yes,
and he's got
yes.
a gnarly football head with tentacles and 8 eyes scattered around.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Gosling, everybody,
Mm-hmm.
that would be amazing. Did
Yeah.
you obviously there's the conversation of the journey of Ahsoka's live action Leku, but by the time we
Mm-hmm.
get to Ahsoka season 1, she is the main character. Did you bump on it? Did you say like,
No.
I'm connected with her emotionally, but you got the weird Montreal and Leku. What's going on?
No, I had no issue with that. I think it's just because it's a character I've loved for years, and I think the leap to animation that was always going to be a little difficult. I think it just worked better than some of the other characters. I think it was, and that just might be my experience with it. I think Hera was. I'd like to see a different. I don't know. I liked Hera in Ahsoka. It just seemed like slightly different than the Hera that I had known in Rebels. That's not a. That's not even criticism. I'd like to see more of the character. Hera wasn't a lead in this.
No.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I didn't bump up against it.
Yeah, no, neither did I. And I think especially, I know a lot of times people used to make the argument of like, you really need to see a human face, but we've had so much great storytelling with Vader and Din Djarin and the armor of like, the characters need to be able to emote in a way, but I think aliens certainly can, and that's been proven. So we know who you don't want to see is a Jedi in Raised New Order. You don't want to see any blob Jedi, which
no
was
blobs.
my first pick. Is I believe I looked it up. Oberlin's an Ugar, the blobby plasma guy in a suit. And I would love that. The weirder, the better. That it's Rey, and it can be blue chits with red eyes, and just some plasma in a suit. I would love some of the aliens that we've met more recently, like in Ardinian, giving Ardinian wielding multiple blades. Doug holding the lightsaber with his foot, their foot. A little Chadra fan.
Yeah,
I love different sizes. It was great. Not that Jabba isn't a main character. Jabba's a central character, but it was really interesting to see Rada as a main character. And as that film did, sort of acknowledge the different way that Hutt moves through life, because not everything is built for a Hutt. So I don't know if I'd be happy to see a Hutt Jedi, but it would be interesting to see many different sizes, shapes in Rey's New Jedi Order to really drive home this idea of, so it's a wide galaxy and we're here for everybody, and everybody has a connection to the Force. So there's some of my thoughts on the kind of Jedi I might like to see. Given your concerns, what sort of Jedi would you be happy to struggle with?
yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Because even some of my answers, I think it's hard to do. I like the idea, and I can't think of examples off the top of my head, but of species in Star Wars are generally associated with bad guys, right? So I'll start with a Trandoshan.
Oh yeah, great Trandoshan Jedi in High Republic in the comics,
right?
In the books too, primarily.
So I like that because Boss comes to mind, and playing with him in Battlefront 2 and just gassing everyone to death. There's a certain view of him. So explore someone who's moved away from that, and that would be interesting to explore in live action. It's just, there's something, if you're going to explore it, to me, like change, because it's kind of meta in a way. We all just kind of have like a Gamorrean guard.
Oh yeah,
Gamorrean being a Jedi, it's almost like combining a jock and a nerd, which I live in that world. So can this like big, bulky, grunty fighter? They're always used as henchmen or guards or the fighters in the ring. Like could they tap into the peaceful side of the Force, learn to marry who they are on the inside with what they're trying to practice. That if I'm going to do that and explore a new Jedi Order with some aliens, let's have some both fun with it, but do it with great purpose.
Yeah, I like that idea a lot. Claudite, a shapeshifter, changeling, that would be really interesting. I would like that. I am spacing on a good friend of the show's species. It just sounds like I'm talking about an actual listener. And I don't know. Oh yeah, there it is. How would you feel, Ken, about a Trotatome, aka Claude from Rise of Skywalker Jedi, and their lightsaber, since they don't have limbs that we are aware of, was just floating around in front of them by way of the Force?
That'd be. I'm on board. I would like to see this play on animation first.
That is the safer choice.
Yeah. But I could be on board.
Okay.
I do like the weird. I do like the weird. Just, I can't have Star Wars Episode 10 with Clued. Meet Clued. There's Claude, and we got Clued, and Clued is on the poster. I don't think it sells.
I think for some reason, Clued sounds a little bit more Sith-like. I think Darth
He's clued because
Clued.
he's clued in. I'm clued into the truth.
I've dealt with my darkness. Have you?
Yeah.
I'm clued.
Yeah.
There's a lot of the lingo these days is like a word that exists that's been shortened, like cringe. I'm clued, man. I'm clued.
Clued.
Well, thank you to Jedi James for cluing us in on the dream of a Chiss Jedi. Ken, do you have any other thoughts about aliens as Jedi?
I want to see more. I loved the High Republic. I know you and I both didn't get a chance to finish them yet, but Phase 1, on board with everything going on there. I'm joking and poking at myself, but I get it. I have there's been times reading Star Wars novels where and they'll explain who the character is, but I just skip over it mentally. And about halfway through the book, I realized the character I'm reading in my brain is human, but it's not. It's alien. And I have to face the dark truth of myself. Do I only see humans in Star Wars? Is this wrong? So anyways, go easy on me, folks out there. Go easy.
I understand. And yeah, they almost always put the species, and it's always a delight in the book when I'm like, oh, great, I'm clued in. Yes, I know what that species is. And then there was at least one book where it's like, I am losing the flow of this book because I stopped to look up the species so that I can picture correctly. Yeah. Interesting part of reading Star Wars literature.
Fun part.
Well, this was a great way to talk about the hope for Rey's new Jedi Order. And I do think in Star Wars, for my 2 cents, it's important to balance the old and the new. It's important to balance the absurd and the profound. And I think having a wide variety of Jedi, particularly in more lead roles, is a great way to do those things that are important to me in Star Wars. So I have high hopes for that.
Yeah, if she were to start a new order and say there's 8 students and we see them and 3 of them weren't of a different species, it just wouldn't be right. It's not the way the galaxy is set up. So yeah, I'm on board for that.
Yeah. And there'll be at least one with some good old Star Trek, television Star Trek prosthetics with. Got some weird nose things going on, but besides that, human.
Yeah. There you go. Indeed. All right.
Well, thank you, Jedi James. That is our cue for this episode.
Great stuff, Jedi James, and thank you all for watching out here. If you're on YouTube, hey, subscribe, leave a comment. You're probably gonna yell at me. That's okay. And tell the world about what we do over here. You can find us on social media at ForceCenter Pod. Support us on Patreon at patreon.com/ForceCenter. Don't forget on the podcast side, which we still are a podcast at heart, through on cameras because all the kids were doing it. We're still a podcast, all right. And every Sunday we re-release audio only our Databank Brawl series. So hop into that. We still got a ways to go, but we're getting towards the end. So it gets wild there. Check that out on our podcast feed. Follow me at Napzok. Come see me down to San Diego Comic-Con, July 23rd. Do some comedy. Headlining, Jen Sturgeon and Mark Ellis are headlining a night of comedy. First night of Comic-Con, and I'll be there. Ticket information is on my website. Speaking of tickets, you're going to want to get a hot ticket to go see Dead Media. Joseph Scrimshaw is here to tell you how.
That is right. Our horror film Dead Media is finally making its way out into the world. We're doing a road show with a great distribution company, Antenna Releasing. And first up is the Los Angeles premiere, Saturday, July 18th at Brain Dead Studios. So if you'd like to see the film, see an intro from me, Q&A with some cast and crew members, come check it out. And then many more dates to be announced. You can find all the information at antennareleasing.com/films/dead media. And you can follow me on the social medias, all of them pretty much, except for X, on @Joseph Scrimshaw.
There you go. All right. So for all the aliens in the galaxy, I love you. See you next time here on ForceCenter.